Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Heather, and today we are going to spend a little bit of time in the kitchen making some homemade focaccia. The reason I'm making this today is it's simple, it's easy. Did I mention it's easy? And I don't need a sourdough base to do it. It involves approximately 4 ingredients: flour, salt, a little bit of yeast, and water. That's it. If you have nothing else, then you right there alone have the makings of a very delicious focaccia. So let me go on ahead and get you set up here with me, and we will get this loaf going. Okay guys, so to start the recipe off, very easy. We're going to add 4 cups of flour. And what I have here is an all-purpose flour. So before you freak out and say that you don't have any bread flour, which you could use bread flour, you could use a wheat, a white winter wheat even would be appropriate. Probably very delicious in a white wheat form. All right, so to the 4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of yeast. Okay. Next thing is going to be 2 teaspoons of salt, and please do not chintz on the salt. That is very needed in a focaccia. Okay, I've got my spurtle here. I'm just going to kind of fluff this all around like so. And to this, I'm going to add about 2.5 cups, I'm going to say, of room temperature water. This is the part that you'll kind of need to eyeball because you may need less liquid. You may even need a little bit more liquid. All right. So let me get this incorporated here, and then we'll see what our texture is. Now, focaccia is perfect for a slow rise technique, which basically just means that you can mix this up before you go to bed the night before, come home and have it completely proofed and ready to be put on your pan. And I'll show you guys that here in a minute after, obviously, this has doubled in bulk. And then pop it in the oven and have fresh bread with dinner. Okay, yeah, we're going to need maybe 1/4 cup. Still just a little dry. We kind of want it to look a little gooey. It doesn't need to be sopping wet, but even if you add a little bit too much liquid, it's okay. During the proofing process, it will incorporate. It may just take a little bit longer for it to proof up for you. But this texture right here is perfect. All right. Okay, so now that we have our dough all mixed up, all I'm going to do, take a tea towel here, tuck it all around the edges, and I'm just going to stick it in this spot right here on our oven. Now, I'm not even going to bother turning on the oven because it's warm enough in the house that this should proof in about 1.5 hours. As I said, you can do a slow rise on this and put this in the night before in the freezer, and when you come home at 5 o'clock, pull it out, let it proof in your pan after spreading it out, and pop it in the oven, and you'll have fresh homemade bread with dinner at 6 o'clock at night. So what's not to love about that? All right. So I'm just going to leave that baby there, and I'm going to check back in about an hour and a half and see where we're at, and we will go from there. I will show you the whole dimpling process, which is really, really fun, and we're going to top it off with some herbs because herb focaccia. What's not to like about herb focaccia? Yeah, so I will see you in an hour and a half. Okay, guys, so it's been a bit longer than an hour and a half. That's okay. The dough has done what it needed to do. It has doubled in bulk and is looking nice and bubbly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil onto our sheet pan here, and we're going to start pressing this out. Let me go on ahead and change your angle so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so as you can see, I have my sheet pan here, and I'm just going to go on ahead and eyeball some good extra virgin olive oil. Then I've got my bowl here, and I have a spurtle. I'm just going to dump this out. And this will be a little sticky. That's normal. All right, now we're going to just coat this dough ball in the oil. All sides. I use my hands just to feel where it's kind of sticky, and if it's a little sticky there, I coat that in the oil. All right, and now we're going to start just pressing it out. Now, this part of the process is probably the most time consuming out of all of it. It doesn't take very long. It's literally 5 minutes between each stretching session, I guess you could call it. And I'm just literally using my fingertips to stretch it out until it starts to go back. All right, so now that it's no longer stretching out, I'm gonna let it rest for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to preheat our oven to 425. Okay, so we've got our oven preheating at 425. I'm going to let this sit on top of the stove. It's just going to get slightly warm. It's not a whole lot as far as like temperature for proofing, but I do notice that it seems to help a little bit, especially in the cooler months, like right now. Obviously it's November, so it just kind of helps move the proofing process along. So I will see you back here in about 5 minutes, and we're going to do the exact same thing all over again, and you'll be surprised at how much more it starts to stretch out and stay stretched out. All right, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, so it has been 5 minutes. Let me go on ahead and get you into position, and I will show you what our dough looks like. All right, as you can see, our dough is definitely puffing up. All of our little fingerprints that we've got in here have started to fill in. So we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing all over again. And I'm going to go on ahead and put a little bit of this oil on my fingers just to keep from getting stuck to the dough, or from the dough getting stuck to me, however you want to think of it. Now, you can keep your focaccia as thick or as thin as you like it. I don't prefer to have my focaccia over an inch in thickness. That's just my personal preference. If you like a thicker focaccia, of course, you can go ahead and make it a little bit thicker than that. I'm gonna kind of got a few little holes there, and that's okay. They'll fill in as it's proofing. Go. You can see the dough isn't retracting in on itself as much. It's a good sign. All right. Now we are also preheated at this point, but this does need to go ahead and sit for a little while longer. While it's sitting and proofing again, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to take our herbed salt. You can use fresh herbs if you prefer, and then top it with salt. That way, sky's really the limit. You could use just dried herbs that you have from your cabinet, whatever you have on hand. This is really, really yummy and fun if you have, say, a little bit of leftover cheese or some crumbles of bacon. You can put that on there, top it with sauteed onion, or even just fresh onion, or just fresh chive. Whatever you have on hand, go ahead and play around and just have fun with it. That's really the whole point. All right, so now that we've got our herbed salt on there, I'm going to go on ahead and, as I said, let this proof for another 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, we'll go on ahead and put this in the oven at 425 for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Just depends upon your oven. Some ovens run hotter than mine. I'm going to put it in for at least 25 minutes because I do like my focaccia to be a little bit of a darker golden brown than on the lighter side. But that is my personal preference. So you do you, boo. All right? I'll see you in another 5 minutes. Okay guys, so obviously the proofing is done. I've gone on ahead and I have put the focaccia in the oven at 425 for 25 minutes, set in a middle rack of the oven. I will see you back here in 25 minutes for the results. I'm betting they're going to be rather tasty too. Okay guys, so it is 6:30 and I have pulled our beautiful focaccia out of the oven, and should I mention that it smells divine in the house right now? Let me go on ahead and show you what we've got here. Okay, so as you can see, we've got this beautiful deep golden color. Now, if you don't necessarily like having this much browning. You don't have to leave it in there for 25 minutes. You can definitely take it out before then, but for me, well, I love the crispiness. It's a texture thing. This is actually a good dipping thickness as well. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. So if you are looking for something to have as an appetizer or an hors d'oeuvre at a family get-together, you can cut this into wedges and serve it with a dip, and it's absolutely delicious. But you can also just have it as is. So now we're going to do the official taste test before wrapping up this video. And I do like to just pull off of my focaccia. I'm a heathen that way. The herb salt recipe, I've made that on this channel for you guys. There's a recipe, video, instructions, whole 9 yards. I'll go on ahead and link it here. That's what I put on top of this. It's amazing. The only other thing that I could think to do if I was to take this up a notch is top it with some onions and some prosciutto with a little bit of smoked goat cheese. Would make it even better. But this is going to be the perfect side to dinner this week. And since I've got a get together that I'm going to be going to, this is definitely going with. All right. Guys, as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, and share. Sharing is caring, guys. All right? I'll see you on the next one. Bye.